Hello, welcome to Bars and Bells. My name is Lauren.
And I'm Ian.
This is semester 4. We've been consistently practicing our skills all year, and now we're on semester 4. We'll be revisiting and reintroducing that snatch, ultimately in that 6th week, but we'll be progressing towards that skill by starting with our get-ups as usual, our single arm swings, and some cleans and presses tonight. So stay tuned for that kettlebell work, but right now our bells are off to the side, and we'll get started with a body weight warm-up.
Sounds good.
Half hour.
30 minutes, that's all we need. Start with your thumbs forward or just gently turn those palms forward. And at the shoulder blades, shrug up. At the shoulder blades, through the armpits, pull down. And then do a rounding shape forward. Most of the time today, you'll be squeezing those shoulder blades together in the back. From that position, bend the elbows and go approach a W shape and repeat. Elevate as the shrug up and then pull down. Round forward and squeeze together with those shoulder blades. Then from that position, open to the side, and wherever the palm pits are facing, make sure those elbow pits are facing the same. Lauren and I both have them turned. Actually, I have mine turned up, Lauren has hers turned forward. But it doesn't matter. From here, we'll shrug our shoulders and then pull down, and then do a shoulder blade scoop forward, finish in a retract effort. And for one more time today, with those arms towards your overheads position, elevate or shrug, but for the most time today, it'll be down. Round forward, and for the rest of the time, they'll be pulled back. And groove our first gentle overhead press there, returning to this position with a kettlebell, we call it our rack, and light effort on the extension through the elbows. We'll get to the floor right away. From there, we'll do our knees over toes, squat, and squeeze your glutes, push your hips through, give them a good cramp, and start testing those abs. Then pull yourself down, let's stay that same height, and lift up those heels, return those heels to the ground, and then also push on through. Last one will end up on the floor. We'll go knees over toes. The heels can then lift up. We'll descend. The knees can touch. The hips are through. A little shake, and start loading those hands now. Load those fingertips first, then the callus line, then full hand, and have those blood donations facing forward. With the hands, press forward. With the feet, push back. And as you do that, the knees might hover in the middle. Let's continue our shoulder blade warm-up of squeezing together in retraction, elevating to the ears, pushing in the floor as they wrap around the body, and pull down to the hips. Let's do that again as we go together. Shrug up, push away, pull back down, let the knees come back down to the floor, use those hands, and push on through. In this position, this tall kneel, use your glutes, squeeze through, and do a little bit of a crunch, bringing the rib cage down, but stay tall. Test the shield, cramp those hips. One last crawl exercise in the reverse direction. We hinge on the hip, fingers, calluses, hands land. Push the floor forward through the hands and pull the knees up off the floor. Squeeze the shoulders together, pull down to the hips, spread them apart, shrug them up. Pull them back down, repeat, down, spread. Core and shoulders here, finish retracted, knees down, and push the floor away. Let's rock back to that little toe squat. We'll introduce toe squats a little bit later, or full squats as well. And let's find our tall stance, return the feet to the floor, and one last grooving exercise for me here. With the palms forward, very low effort, return the arms to that rack position. With fists or straight fingers, elevate the shoulders, but then pull those armpits down and pull down on the lats as we extend those arms towards overhead, both at the same time. Then elevate the shoulders and pull down and return to that rack position. Before we load with that kettlebell, repeat one last time, pull down on the armpits, extend those arms overhead. And if we take a moment and look at Lauren here, the arms are in line with the ears, with the rib cage down. Make sure that feels safe. Return those arms back down. And Lauren, we'll start to load ourselves with the kettlebell as we open up those hips.
Excellent. So let's put our stance into that regular squat position. And then from here, let's feel the pull of the floor together. So without moving, just pull your heels together. Feel those adductors. Now keep using those muscles to bring yourself down into your low squat. From here, let's do a little weight shift from side to side, and let's also differentiate between low squat and hang out, chilling, sitting by the campfire, eating your dinner squat. Let's bring ourselves up just a little bit to be in that more active position versus that passive squat. Next, we'll try to keep our spine fairly extended as we do this next portion. We'll place our hands on the floor. Then from here, we're going to take, let's all do the same leg. So let's all take our right leg and step it back into a 1 foot in a plank position, and then the left leg follows back. Next here, we're in our plank. We're at the top of our kettlebell swing. So our butt cheeks are squeezed and we're pulling the floor together underneath us. We feel those lats engaged. We feel our abs braced and we feel our cheeks squeezed for 3. 2, this same round, we're going to take our right foot and bring it back up. Let's pause here for a second. Reach that right knee forward and the left heel to the back of the room. Then let's try to control and lift that left foot back in. Extended spine, big chest, push down and away to stand up tall. Let's do that one more time. Pull ourselves down. Hands placed on the floor. This time, left leg stays, right leg goes back, and then left leg goes back. Now we're back into that plank position. Squeeze the cheeks, pull the floor together underneath you. Breathe. Tension, top of your swing, shoulders retracted, lats engaged, butt cheeks squeezed, abs braced. Then pull that left foot up, reach away with that left knee and that right heel, and then pull that tension back in to bring your right foot up, lifting the chest, pushing down and away to stand up tall. Take a second, we'll come back to that. But until then, let's hold our kettlebell.
We'll be cleaning that kettlebell today. That means taking it from the floor to that rack position. And we'll start with a hinge clean into the goblet hold with 2 hands. Set yourself up with perpendicular feet to that kettlebell hold and hinge. Grab the top of the bell, pack the shoulders, always emphasizing that preload. Take a breath in and a hup action that takes it to that goblet hold position up front. The rib cage is low, the glutes are squeezing, the shoulders are retracted or rowing in the back. And then for an additional challenge, we can look through the window, maintaining our breath, holding the tension, then return the bell to the body, and then return it on to the floor. Practice that body weight tension plank and apply that skill to the kettlebell as well.
Let's move that bell out of the way and go back down to that squat position with a little added bonus brought to you by the Get Up. So again, pull yourself down into that squat. Hands will go on the floor, right leg steps back, left leg steps back. Hold a plank for a couple seconds. Let's pull in parallel but isometrically, meaning not moving. Right hand pulls to the right hip, left hand pulls to left hip. Both pull at the same time. 3, 2, bring your right foot back up to your right hand. You're going to maybe step your left hand a little bit wider. We're going to lift our right arm towards our chest. We'll take our back left leg and we're going to sweep it through into our Get Up Tall Sit. Whoa, magic. Then we're going to push the floor away, lift the leg, bend the knee. Let's reach it back to that long position. Both hands down, left foot steps in, extended spine, push both to tall, tall. One more time, repeat on the other side. Pull yourself down. This time, left foot, right leg, oh my goodness, I need to get this right. Right leg goes back, then left leg. Hold. This time, pulling an X pattern tension. Right pulls to left pulls to right, creating X pattern across your body. Then left leg will step in first. Left hand will come across the chest. Right arm is nice and planted and packed. Right leg will sweep through to high Get Up position. Tall sit position. Shoulder out of your ear. Lift hip, bend knee, sweep it long back. Place hand on the floor. Other foot comes up, low squat, press through to tall. Oh, that's
awesome.
fun.
We'll utilize those get-ups in just a second, but one more high tension goblet hold. So stand directly over top of that bell. Chip chop on those hips, grab a firm handle out top, a breath, a clean, one quick action to that chest hold. Stay here, root your feet, narrow your base, or even choose a single. And for an extra challenge, for 5 seconds, look through the window, connect those ribs and hips, hold for a second, maintain the breath, return to the body, and return to the floor. We swept through in the tall sit. We've gotten used to that load. Join us, Lauren, as we...
It's our first round of... It's not our first round of get-ups yet.
Oh, we're swinging, that's right.
It's our single arm swing breakdown first. So before we do that get-up, which I know you're very excited for, let's break down those single arm swings, as when we snatch, we need that power. So reviewing our single arm swing here, we'll do one round of our hike passes. We're standing behind our bell. As usual for our swings, we hinge, we grip with one hand, tip the bell. Let's hike pass by pulling it to the zipper and then park. Repeat 3 more times on this arm. Pull, park. I say arm, but I mean pull with that lat. Brace the abs as to stay the same height. Wear the load on your hamstrings and cheeks. Leave it on the floor. Stand up without. And we'll repeat on the other side. So it's a hip hinge, a grip tip, pack, pull, and land. Toes are heavy. That off arm is swinging with you to the outside hip. And again, that tension is on hips and abs. Up without, give that a little shake out. And next, we'll introduce that single arm stop swing. Let's do an I go, you go pattern. So Ian will set up in that single arm stop swing. It's a hike, pass, pull. 1 full swing through park. Each time here, we're ending up in that tall plank position we practiced earlier with our shoulder retracted, our lat engaged, and it's our abs that stop us at the top with a full butt cheek clench. Team Lauren, let's go.
For this exercise again, keep your reps low and the integrity high. As you finished off semester 3, we approached that 100 kettlebell threshold, swing threshold. Right now, let's work in sets of 3s or 4s and maintain integrity and maintain that the look of the first one is a lot like that look and feel of the last one as well.
Taking that breath in between, Team Ian, 5 stop swings here. Again, we're pulling with our lat to get that bell through to the zipper or that hike pass position. It's the hips that drive that bell up, not the arm. So keep that connection from the shoulder to the hips via the lat.
Oh, lat. Those lats connect the ribs to the hips and protect our low back. And as Lauren alluded to, drive the kettlebell through with your hips. Grip the kettlebell, of course, and grip it with a callus line. But a lot of that grip comes from that stable shoulder blade in retraction or squeezing together like a row. Number 1, number 2, this is about number 4 for Lauren there, and shake it out. The last exercise is now that continuous swing for the one arm.
So Team Ian, let's do 5 single arm continuous swings. We're taking a little break. We'll do this I go, you go, and we'll do more of them in a couple minutes. But first, let's get 1 set under our belt, followed by some get-ups.
So there's our 5. Stay fresh with it. Sometimes the first sets are often the most challenging as well. So breath, like Lauren in the swing, where it's an inhale on the down and a exhale on the up.
Team Ian, second arm, 5 swings. Match that breath to exactly when those hips snap through so that when you're at the top, you have abs of steel, butt cheeks of carbon.
Whoa, we're super strong from the head to the toe. Root the toes, even if they're pink and freshly manicured like Lauren's there, or bare and boring like mine, no matter what. Root them in the ground and stay tight like a tree trunk made of carbon steel. Whew.
All right, it's get up time without further ado.
Let's do it.
So let's lie on the floor, and whether it's body weight or with the kettlebell, we'll start our first round of get-ups, which is only 1 each side from the bottom. As usual, it starts with a cuddle, a roll, and a press. Next, we use that hip and we pull on our elbow. We find our hand, and just as we did in the warm-up, we'll bridge and sweep that leg through, pressing the floor away, squaring up our lunge. Both legs help you up. Keep this bell in that overhead position with our shoulders stacked on our hips as we lunge down. Rotate, sweep, elbow, and press away to your back. Pull the bell down with 2 hands, return it to the floor. Let it go, spin yourself around. We'll repeat that same little routine on the second side.
Look for that consistent place to place your hand on the kettlebell to make sure it always feels the same and is well balanced. And we'll cuddle, we'll roll and press. We'll drive the hip to sit tall. There we are. And bridging. And sweeping a leg and pressing the floor away. Square up, full body tension to stand, and then pull yourself down. Open up in the rotation next. Stack, sit tall, find the elbow to the ground. 2 hands on, a nice little cuddle down, and that no-handed challenge as we stand up.
So as we're progressing our skills and our single arm swings as well, working ultimately towards that snatch move, we next need to work on our rack position or getting the bell there via our clean. Right now we'll start with a 2-handed clean. Right over top of your bell, handle parallel with your feet. We'll grip with one hand, so hip hinge. Grip with one, that's the side it'll end up on. Cuddle with the second. Pull like you're doing up your winter coat. Punch through, end up in that rack position. When you're ready, remove your second hand. Hold for 3, 2, 2 hands on. Keep it tight to the body. Park. Up without. Let's repeat that same thing on the other side. Grip with the second hand. Cuddle. Zip. Punch. When you're ready, remove hand. Ribs to hips. Squeeze your cheeks. Breathe. 2 hands on. Park bell. Shake it off. Let's make it a little harder by doing the up with one hand only. So we'll hinge. We'll grip with one hand. Our other hand's out front just to square up our shoulders. Pack, pull, punch through, hold rack. Keep it tight to the body. Put the bell back down. Stay on this side. Let's do it 2 more times. Pack shoulder, pull, punch. Tight to the body. Park. One last time, I want you to think about using those hips to get that bell up, through, and park.
One of the sounds we're looking for on this is the hips and the hup from those abs. The second sound could be that kettlebell jumping from the hand as it goes from the up phase to the catch phase in that rack position. Listen to yours or listen tight here and see if we can hear that on this side.
So we'll do the same thing on this other side, single arm. You want to have a firm grip, but as Ian said, allow your hand to punch through. One hand on, square up, inhale, brace abs, and punch. Keep it tight to the body, park. 2 more. Both hips drive through, no twist, and park. Last one, pull, punch, through, park. Now,
Awesome.
Now that we learned that, we get to use that and get down in a get up. So we'll do a one-handed clean to that rack position. We'll press the bell overhead, and then we'll get down and up with that kettlebell. First side, pull, punch through, press bell, leg you can touch, we'll drop back through that get up. Step, rotate, open, hinge, stack, sweep, elbow to your back. Keep the bell up here, let's come back up to standing. Hip drive, squish bug, bridge sweep, push away, extend hip, stand tall, pull bell down to rack, one hand, park bell.
Nice. That time under tension will sure help the press, the core strength, the grip, and anything else that Lauren was about to say. That's all true.
So we're not doing that snatch right away, but what we're learning is how to drive that power from the hips to get the bell both to that front position as well as to that rack position. Let's repeat on the second side. Hinge.
It's a clean, a single arm clean to the rack and a full body tension as we press. You can move your feet, then drop back in our lunge and open up a leg to the side and hinge or rotate under it. Sit tall. Press the floor away in the elbow pose and control the ground. Then drive to the elbow. Sit tall, pushing heavy through the foot and the hand, sweeping the other leg. Get tall in the lunge, square it up, tall stand, and pull it down with control. Then that single-handed approach back down to the floor. Nice. We more cleans to come up here. Stick with us right now for a little heart rate, strength, endurance portion where we will work in this I go, you go capacity for 5 kettlebell swings, 1 arm swings at a time. Of course, you could use 2 hands or even just go back to single hand deadlifts, nice and tall. Let's get ballistic. Let's challenge that heart rate, starting with Lauren and 5 swings on one side of your choice. The tension is there. The feet push, the glutes squeeze. We can hear that coordinated breath. Very powerful as we go. Is that team of yours parks? Our team's ready to get going.
So remember, this is that I go, you go pattern. You're either swinging with myself or you're swinging with Ian and taking a break in between. We have a nice packed shoulder, and that's what's connected to the hip. The arm is extended out front, and we're swinging to that chest level height.
Chest height. Avoid saving reps and going a little bit easier at the front end. If 5 is too many, do 3 high quality reps where the power or the amplitude height of the bell satisfies that chest height requirement.
Same thing for Team Ian on that second side. This is round 1 of 5. That off arm is swinging with you. Again, I think belt buckle drives forward to try to avoid that 1-2 hip.
You're right. We want to avoid those hips that twist and making sure those shoulders stay square as well. The kettlebell might be tracking just to the right or left of center, depending on which hand you have on it. That's okay, but stay square through the movement. Round 2.
Team Ian, first arm, round 2. Feet are planted, it's all the usual things. It's that hip drive through, the matching breath, and keeping that brace as you place that bell towards the floor.
That's right. The body weight hinge down looks a lot the same as the loaded swings that Lauren's repeating right now, and in particular on the last rep. Start and finish with integrity. Shake it out, and let's do it again.
One of the most important things of your swing is that setup and that placement back down. So make sure you're taking your time, packing that shoulder, squaring up your body before that bell even leaves the floor, and always placing it down with control. This is round 3.
This is the end of round 2. This is the start coming up to round 3 here. Oh, that team Lauren started. It's hard to keep track of her reps. So let's just focus on things like form that we can keep track of a little easier. Round 3. Here we go.
Yeah, so we just finished the first half of round 3, and Team Ian is just starting here. As you think about your swings, try to think about everything, but try to also enjoy that swing a little bit.
Enjoy the float. That's when that kettlebell is out front. And then ballistically, with urgency, we fire it back up there, like loading a slingshot. Load it, fire, and enjoy the rewards.
Team Ian is finishing round 3 here, and we're getting ready for our 4th. In our time off, we have all of that tension when we're swinging. So in our time off, try to stay loose. Shake the legs, shake the cheeks, shake the grips. Round 4.
Stay fresh. The start of round 4, we've reached that apex. We're on that way back home. But hopefully, we're keeping those numbers the same. Scale as you need. Here we go. Round 4, 5 reps.
So take your breath, practice that tension, and try to keep the same pace that we're swinging at. We're not rushing in. We're doing our usual swing pace. Try to find that.
It lets us use that elastic energy within our muscle. Let's grind it out in the get up where it's a little bit slower. But now think quick. It's back and it's parked, and the rests tend to come quick as well.
Team Ian finishing up round 4 here, and then we have one more round. So we'll get 50 single arm swings out today in this little segment, and each week progressing and building these skills. Last round.
Sometimes we'll increase that number of repetitions, and sometimes we'll increase the complexity of the drill, like transitioning from the swing to the clean, and the clean to the ultimate snatch. So let's do it. Here we are.
One other thing to think about when you're swinging here is to pretend you don't have a wrist. So that wrist is nice and straight as the bell's out in front of us, as well as when it falls behind us. If you're feeling that bell flick your bottom, it's because you're adding a little bit of a wrist flick back there. So try to imagine no wrists.
In that home stretch here, it's that last 5. Stay strong. Can you breathe? Can you breathe? Comments are appreciated. Let us know how your one-arm swing is going today.
Team Ian is finishing up that last 5 of 5 here. So 50 swings. The last 45 to 50 should look and feel the same as the first 5. If not, maybe dial back that bell, dial back the reps. Take a couple breaths here, shake it out, and then ultimately, we're going to finish here with a little set of some clean and press. Work on that rack hold, getting the bell through, as well as that overhead strength for snatches to come.
50 swings today. It was 100 swings a week or 2 ago. It's okay to, again, come back down with those repetitions, or in our case, both the light load and the repetitions, because we know we have 6 weeks to increase that challenge. So as Lauren said, let's finish today with some cleans and presses.
Also noting that the bells we're using today are lighter than the bells we use for our two-handed swings. Ideally, we could use that bell for our single arm swings, but where we're going with this is that single arm swing and snatch. So right now we've belled down a little bit, and let's get that skill first before we add a lot of load. So this little routine, let's keep it in that I go, you go for now. I'll do a sheet clean to rack, and I'll press the bell once, I'll put it back down. Ian will do that same thing on the other side, and we'll go for a couple rounds.
Sounds good. Straight up the body into the rack. Press overhead, satisfying that straight line, elbow in line with the ear.
So Team Ian, first arm up the body, press it, pull it down, keep it tight on that pull down. We'll go on that second arm.
Second side. Strong side, stronger side. Let's use both. The benefits of that kettlebell is you get to challenge each side of the body equally.
Remember when you're doing these kettlebell strength activities, you have a whole body of muscles. You have a lot of tension you can create. So don't just create that tension in the active parts, meaning your hand and your arm. Let's use that whole body. So it's a hinge with the abs and butts. Press with the legs and cheeks. Pull it down and park it.
Single repetition, staying nice and fresh. A clean, a press, a rack position, and back down. Make those reps look the same. We do hope they get harder as you go through, and the last one or two are pleasantly filled with struggle.
So as you inhale, prepare for that brace so that when you go to press, you have that strong foundation to press out of. The toes are gripped, the kneecaps are pulled up, butts are squeezed, and then place it down. Let's do one more time each side here.
There's a long checklist, and focus on one thing at a time, and then add to it. Just like Lauren's plank, fill it with tension.
Mainly, we're thinking about keeping this bell tight to the body. That'll be important for our snatch too. We want to pull this bell up in order to get under it.
In that home stretch, that last set of presses here. So as Team Lauren puts that bell down, we'll pick it up one more time.
Last, secretly not, overhead press here. Now, you know how I like to throw in a little surprise ending? Well, let's do that cheek clean and press one more time, but keep the bell overhead and one last get up on each side. Sounds great.
Excellent.
Over top of the bell, it'll be a hinge, a grip, a pull to rack, and a press. From there, we'll do our step back lunge, our rotate open, hip hinge, sweep, elbow to your back. Come back up by using the hip drive pull. Squish the bug, bridge sweep. Press away, use both legs to help your lunge. Let's slowly pull the bell to the rack, and then one hand, park it where you got it, up without. Whew.
Last time, other side. I do switch sides just that little bit. Line up that kettlebell clean and zip it into the rack. Full body tension will press. Your stance can change, your control stays the same on the lunge. That windmill. Sweep the leg, find the elbow, push off with core point tension, and then drive the hip, reversing our steps. We're here in the tall sit to the bridge. Press away, square up, out, stand tall, then slow and steady, and feel the tension, and return to the floor. Amazing. That's one of 6 in semester 4. Welcome to Bars and Bells. What's up?
So as we progress those skills from our single arm swings towards our snatches, over the next 6 weeks, we'll also be working on Thursdays on our bar practice, which will be our hip mobility and strength, including holding our legs in various places, as well as push-ups for the next 6 weeks. So join us for that. And then on Saturday mornings live or anytime in the archive, we'll be working on our body weight strength, including crawls, rolls, handstands. All you need is this and a little bit of space.
It's great times on a Saturday morning or, as Lauren mentioned, anytime in the archive. There's sections 1, 2, and 3. That's a lot of different exercises so far this year, and we'll continue to add to the library with you, our Patreons. So visit our website And with you, our members, join the link letter, so receive 2 bi-weekly emails a month full of scheduling and other interesting details.
Check out our website, check out our Patreon, like and subscribe on YouTube. And until next time, take care.
Stay strong.
And we'll train soon.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.